Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. It is August 25th, 2016, and here we are out here in the pumpkin patch area, or at least part of it. And I have 3 female pumpkin flowers opening up today. I can't remember which varieties they are, except for one. It's an expert pumpkin. That's not what this one is, but these I cannot remember. They may be charisma or something like that. But in any event, so I had 3 that opened up this morning. Here's one of them right here. You can see the stigma down in there, all the female parts. Okay, and let's see if we can get a little gander at the baby fruit underneath. Yeah, there it is. See it tucked away back in there. Right in there. Okay. So I came out here bright and early and got some male flowers, and I hand pollinated that one, and then at the very end I shoot it with some tomato blossom set spray. Bo9 makes it, and I've get pretty good success. It's not always perfect. Here's another female flower on this pumpkin plant over here. Did the same thing, hand pollinated, and then shot it with a couple spritz of the tomato blossom set spray. Okay, and nothing really else going on. Well, let's see. Here is a expert. No, I think this is a Mr. Wrinkles variety right here, and this right here is a female flower. Doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot of growing and getting itself ready, but maybe a little bit. We'll see in the next few days. And one thing that's kind of cool about this Mr. Wrinkles variety, it's more of an oblong, kind of an oval shape instead of a round pumpkin shape. It's just the way this variety goes, and you can hopefully see. Let's see if I can. Oh, depth perception was off. Looking through the camera and trying to do this. You can see that pumpkin right there is kind of more oblong shape. It's not rounded so much, or like an apple or something like that, kind of shape. It's more oval shaped, and that's the way a Mr. Wrinkles grows, and it gives variety to your pumpkins. You don't want them all looking the same and all having the same shade of orange or whatnot. It's nice to have different varieties. And let me show you. I now know that I have at least 2 expert pumpkins growing. Let me see if I can show you one of them right here. This one actually, hopefully you can see this good through the netting. Straight center screen. Sorry for the wobbling. I'm bouncing on my knees here. Okay. Now that one opened up yesterday. Okay. And I know for a fact that that's growing, because it did not look that big yesterday. You just kind of know, because when you see it opening up on the morning, you can see how big the fruit is, and then a day or 2 later, you come back, or 3 days later, and you can see whether it's grown or not. Now, so that's definitely grown. That's an expert pumpkin. Now the thing is this is right on the edge of the screen, so if it does continue to grow and doesn't stop, because sometimes that can happen with pumpkins, for whatever reason, it'll start to grow and then it stops and then rots and falls off and it's done. That doesn't happen too often, but it can happen, and I have had that happen before, where I thought, oh great, I got a pumpkin growing, and then 2 or 3 days later, 4 days later, 5 days later, it's not doing anything, and then all of a sudden you see it you can feel it, and it gets starting to get mushy and soft, and it's done for whatever reason. So far And this is growing now, and hopefully it'll continue to. But like I said, I'm going to have a little bit of issue if it does, because it's right on the edge of the screen of the netting, and that means that it's going to push out on the screen. It could open it up, push the screen out of the bottom of the netting, and that might open it up to squash bugs and vine borers and the cucumber beetles and things that want to attack the pumpkins. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about that. I can't move that pumpkin vine further in because it's so rigid right now that it would snap it and I would lose the pumpkin. I might end up connecting a board between this raised bed to this raised bed where the pumpkin is, open up the screen, and let the pumpkin grow outside of the net, and then put the screen around the stem, and then clamp it with a little small spring clamp the netting back together so that the bugs can't get inside to the plants. That means I'm going to have to probably spray with organic stuff, to keep bugs and things off of the pumpkin itself, so that they won't drill holes into it like worms and stuff have done in the past, or caterpillars I should say. I could wrap it with some burlap, and that would protect it and allow it to breathe and grow and let sunlight still get in there. So that's another option. What I kind of find interesting, you see all those little divots right there on top of the screen? Those are tendrils from the pumpkin plants inside. The tendrils will latch onto anything and to hold on to it, and that's exactly what it's doing. Sometimes I have to pull the tendrils off so that I can maneuver plants around a little bit. But all right, let me bring you down now. The sun's coming right up straight in front, so it's shining right on. Let me pull that netting a little bit out so that you can hopefully see. Now there's the expert pumpkin that I hand pollinated about 3 days ago, I guess now, and it's definitely growing. Okay, hopefully it'll continue to grow. It looks like it will, and that's looking good. And I'm going to show you the other expert pumpkin that opened up this morning. And again, it's right through there. That's the female. There's the stigma right in there. And it's right here again on this edge of the netting on the other side. So I might have to do the same over here. And let's see. Well, I'm trying to. They got a leaf in the way. Let me see if I'll open this up just a little bit. Bear with me just a moment, folks. Live camera shots, right? Sorry for all the wiggling and jiggling. Okay, so just trying to show you the size of that female pumpkin. Now, it was interesting yesterday when I was looking at it and saw that these petals were turning yellow. These petals right here turned yellow. And I knew that it was going to open up the next day. This pumpkin wasn't all that big. But come out here on the morning of, and this thing is definitely swollen up. Now, what caused that? I think that's just maybe the fruit getting ready, which sometimes might explain why they start to grow and then stop, because they sometimes will grow a little bit on their own, just a smidgen like on the day of. And I guess that's just, part of the process of the plant, and so give you a good, see the sun silhouetting, lighting up the inside of the flowers from the outside. So here's my hand on the on the outside, wiggling there in the background. So you got the sun. That's kind of pretty. Look, the sun shining on the outside of the flower, and it's showing it on the inside. Wow. That's nice. Thank you, Jesus, for that pretty shot there. Nice. Okay, so that's what's growing. That's what's going on, and interesting thing, and I'm puzzled by this, and I'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens, Because what I have, of course, you know, I got that one pumpkin, expert pumpkin right over there growing. Okay, and this one right here opened up, and that to me alone is a surprise, because usually a pumpkin plant, in all my experience, about what, 9-10 years of growing pumpkins, maybe 11, I guess. I've never, that I can recall, maybe once it's happened, that two female flowers opened up on the same vine within, you know, 2 or 3 days. Like, I know that that one's growing, but then to have this one continue to grow and then blossom is unusual in my experience, because it's just, usually the pumpkin plant knows how, whether it can support two babies. You know, and I've said this before in past videos, it's a shame that we as humans don't realize that. Don't stop and think that, you know, gee, can I support having this many babies with the amount of money that I make? You know, and you know, it just but the pumpkin flower plants, you know, they know whether they can handle that many, or they can support and grow that many pumpkins. And so it's just interesting. You know, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see. Will I get two pumpkins that are actually growing on the same vine this close to each other? That would be a first for me if that happens. My experience tells me that one of these two will be sacrificed by the plant itself. Either that one's going to stop growing in favor of this one, or this one will not successfully pollinate. But I suppose there's a chance that I'm going to learn something new, and that it can do it. Now, why? If it happens, I don't know, but we'll see. So, continue to grow there, pumpkins. All right. So, I guess the last thing in closing on this is, well, let me pick up these female petals. My rabbits like to eat these. I fed them to them the other day. Take you over to Schmoopy and Shadow, little rabbit area. Oh, they already finished. Oh, there's one flower still sitting down there. Look at them. More food. So, see, I guess you don't need a one of those drones to get some overhead shots. So, you can see they ate the watermelons and stuff like that. And okay, so I gotta clean out this watermelon bed. I mean, you can see there's one baby watermelon right there that showed up, but it's too late for him. You know, I'm not gonna do anything about that. Oh, holy smoly, I just discovered a watermelon. Holy Toledo. Look at that one right there. Straight center screen. Spider webs on me. I did not see that one. I just now saw it. And I bet it's been there for weeks. And I just now noticed it. See? You got your mind focused on the things in your garden, and you don't even see some of the other things there. You miss so many things. Just kind of doing a little walkthrough. I know this was supposed to only be about pumpkins, but here's my only apple to Jonathan. And it's, hey, this is kind of cool. It's starting to get a red coloring to it. Ants crawling all over me. Sorry, folks. They're hiding in my hairy arms. So, wow. Still nice and solid. No birds have messed with it. No squirrels in the area that I'm really aware of. Notice that this was the tree, the Jonathan apple tree, that was all tipped over because of a dumb mistake that I made. And so I'm having to tie it back to try to give it some support so it'll hopefully grow a little bit more straight. I'm also taking the opportunity to tie some of the branches down that were folded over because of the netting or the stuff. So, and I've taken the liberty of taking one of the Honeycrisp branches and tying it to the Jonathan to pull it open a little bit. So, we've come out here the past few mornings and it's been very cool, very damp. So powdery mildew and things like that are going to start setting in, especially on pumpkins and things like that. So I need to come out here probably this evening, and I need to spray with fungicide and probably some baking soda to help prolong the pumpkins and keep them from succumbing to powdery mildew, because that will affect your pumpkins that are growing. So you're not out of the woods yet when you're growing pumpkins. Okay, so tomatoes are doing okay. I never really get too many off here because some creature keeps coming in and eating them. And the last thing I wanted to say about pumpkins. Sorry, folks, my brain was got a little sidetracked here. And this kind of proves what I knew to be the case. We've had a big heat wave for a few weeks now, probably about 3 weeks to a month, where we've had 95 plus degree days, and then factoring in the humidity on top of that. And what's happened is all those flowers kept aborting themselves. The female flowers kept aborting. The male flowers didn't care. They kept on blooming. But female flowers kept aborting themselves. They kept being aborted because it was too hot. Pumpkin plants do not like 95 plus degree temperatures and stuff for the female flowers to bloom. Once we drop back down to the 85 degree, 87 degree range, something like that, maybe even 83. We did that for about 3, 4, 5 days. The female flowers grew quickly. I mean, it did not take long for those female flowers that were sitting there and to get to the blossoming stage. It happened within about 3 to 4 days. It just was bam, bam, bam. And now they're firing off, opening up. I got 3 this morning. I had 1 yesterday. I had 1 about 2 days before that. So, things, as long as the temperatures are staying down into the mid 80s and stuff like that, pumpkins love it, and they'll blossom for you. And now the pumpkins are just on a race to hurry up and grow that pumpkin and get it to seed and everything like that, so that before the frost sets in or before powdery mildew kills them off. So I think that's all I have for you. I'll post another video here in the next couple days. I've seen some other pumpkin flowers that are starting to grow on different plants in the front yard and back here, so it's starting to heat up, kick up here for the pumpkins. I think I got another flower that probably is going to open up tomorrow morning, because I'm seeing that it's growing pretty quickly. So maybe by the end of the day, the petals will turn from green to yellow and show me that they're ready to open tomorrow morning. All right. So from Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch, I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any comments or questions below, if you have any comments or questions, post them below. Yeah, that's how you do it. Thank you for subscribing, and let your friends know. Okay, take care now. Bye.